Hey guys, it's Evelyn. As promised, this week we're doing a reading vlog on Normal People by Sally Rooney. It's a story about two Irish kids, Marianne and Connell, who feel irresistibly attracted to each other, but kept going back and forth between love and friendship because of a series of misunderstandings between them, driven by social class and circumstances. In high school, Connell was this wildly popular soccer star, while Marianne was aloof and socially awkward. They developed a relationship in secrecy, and once they graduated into Trinity College in Dublin, their role kind of reversed, where Marianne became this popular kid who are friends with all the rich kids at school. Connell just really struggled to find his place. This is such a relatable story that the main character syndrome really hit me hard, and I had to take a few days to unplug myself from the book before I could make this vlog. So let's ease into it with some bubble tea, and then I'll tell you later in the vlog why Normal People hit me so hard. Oh, she's heavy. Oh god. So, I got a weighted blanket out of an impulse because, I don't know, I've been feeling really lonely, and one day I was just like, let's do something about it. My boyfriend and I used to both live in Chicago, and earlier this year I came back to China and just got stuck here and never made it back because of COVID travel restrictions. It's August now. We're definitely not the only couple who's forced into long distance because of COVID, and I feel like this is just not talked about that much, because when you talk about COVID, people talk about losing a job, losing a life. They sound like such big and heavy things that love just seems so insignificant in comparison. But I wanted to shout out to those who are keeping love strong despite COVID, because it's really hard. It's hard because you're in a really difficult situation and you can't fully share it with your significant other because they're not here. It's hard because when you're scared, you can't escape into their arms. And the worst of it all, you don't know when this is gonna end. You know that time and distance will weigh on you, but you hate to lose to circumstances because you know you love each other so much. You know there's a light at the end of the tunnel when you'll finally see each other and touch each other. You just can't see it right now. So until then, weighted blanket it is. I haven't been making a lot of progress on Normal People. By the way, I just made a Goodreads account. It's so nice that you can track your reading progress there, which I'm not making any because I have this big trip, kind of spontaneous trip coming up this Saturday, and I have to get ready for that. Now I'm gonna read a little bit. We'll get on with the day. This is a big moment. I just got my first PR package. It's just a pair of shorts I get to keep for free as long as I take pictures in them, and it's not for this platform, so it's not an ad, but I have no idea how to take modeling pictures, so let's watch me ride on the struggle bus.
See Jane, why you staring out the window? Oh, with the red eyes, tell me his name, just got you tangled up.
Hello, and welcome to a tech unboxing video that should not have happened. A few of you guys commented that you like my hand lettering and little doodles in my videos. The magic happens through this Wacom One drawing tablet. You basically just attach it to your laptop and then you can draw on it with a pen that comes with from Photoshop. This is how I make all my thumbnails, doodles. Last week, I could not for the life of me find the pen. And that's when I remembered I wanted to throw away this pen. When I came back from dumping the trash, I was like, why is it still here? So, do you know why I don't have AirPods and still use this early 2010s symbol of coolness? Well, that's because my AirPods slipped out of my pocket when I was watching Fantastic Beasts and where to find my AirPods. Anyways, I had to spend $30 on this pen, and the saddest part is the original tablet that came with a pen was only like $60. So Friday I had a virtual date with a boyfriend, and it turned out to be a long story because there was an explosion in the kitchen and I could have died. But thank God I didn't, so don't worry. I think I'm gonna end up making a full vlog to tell you guys about the full story, but for now, let's talk about Normal People. I think Normal People is truly a phenomenal novel. It's not only super easy to read, but it's also a painfully beautiful and relatable story. As a reader, I could empathize with the main characters Marianne and Connell so well that I feel like my entire life fits into the narrative of their story, which is the definition of main character syndrome. So the writer of this novel, Sally Rooney, like the main characters Marianne and Connell, was a scholar at the Trinity College Dublin, which is one of the most prestigious scholarships in this world. Her writing is very intimate and very intellectual, and it's accomplished through her unique writing technique. She writes about relationships instead of characters. So she would first construct a relationship in her head, in this case Marianne and Connell's relationship of mutual attraction, and she would let the relationship shape her characters and let the characters grow as the relationship evolves. I learned about this from an interview with Sally Rooney, and I'm gonna link that down below if you want to check out the full interview. This technique of writing about relationships instead of characters make the characters extremely natural and relatable. Marianne and Connell's relationship is shaped by their mutual attraction and also difference in social class. I don't know, maybe I'm just being overly emotional as I always am, but here's an example of one of those relatable moments. So this is a quote about Connell. He's a well-adjusted person raised in a loving home. He just assumes the best of everyone and knows nothing. And I was like, oh, I'm a well-adjusted person raised in a loving home. Have I lived my entire life knowing nothing? Throughout this book, there's also this reservation between Marianne and Connell where they almost never tell each other exactly what they think, and that leads to a lot of misunderstandings that kind of lead them separate ways. And having realized that, I was like, oh my god, am I being too needy in my relationship? So I started talking like them, and I texted the boyfriend one day and was like, can I tell you about my day? Do you want to hear about it? It's okay if you don't. Normally I just go on and on and on and on about my day, and he texted back and he was like, what's wrong with you? And then I read this quote from the book. This is when Connell went to a reading at the college. He knows that a lot of the literary people in college see books primarily as a way of appearing cultured. Connell's initial assessment of the reading was not disproven. It was culture as class performance. Literature fetishized for its ability to take educated people on false emotional journeys so that they might afterwards feel superior to the uneducated people whose emotional journeys they liked to read about. All books were ultimately marketed as status symbols, and all writers participated to some degree in this marketing. And we're not going to infer what this says about people who make reading vlogs on YouTube. Do you think of books as a class performance? I think it's just one way of thinking about it. You don't have to agree. But one thing from that quote was a wake-up call from my main character syndrome. And that is, books and movies for that matter are emotional journeys. Other people's emotional journeys. And that means just because I see similarities between myself and Marianne and Connell doesn't mean that my life has to fit into the narrative of normal people. Just because Mia couldn't be with Sebastian in La La Land doesn't mean that everyone has to give up love in order to chase their dreams. Just because relationships always end because of long distance in movies and novels doesn't mean that your love has to lose to time or distance or COVID. You are not the main character of fiction because you are the writer of your own story. As you've seen from the vlog, I am traveling next week, and part of that trip will be completely unplanned solo travel in Xi'an, China. If you want to hear more about that adventure, definitely subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. I will see you next week. Bye!
See you later.